Update. I, male 26, blew up my wedding by uninviting my groomsman. How do I fix things? Original post. 2 weeks ago, I had my bachelor party. I was very hesitant about having one in the first place, mainly because I don't like the connotations/expectations behind a traditional bachelor party. My best man and all my groomsmen knew this. We've known each other for a very long time, since childhood, and we're all super close. My groomsmen are male 28, male 28, male 29, best man is male 25. Before I met my fiancé, I was not a good person. I manipulated and used women, physically and emotionally, all the time, and thought it was cool/fun. This was partly because of my then unresolved trauma from women in my childhood. When I graduated from college, I started taking care of myself, physically, emotionally, and most importantly, mentally. I was able to afford therapy and really worked hard on myself to change and become a better man. My best man knew about this and has followed my journey and has been generally very supportive. He too has started to see how toxic our behavior was and is basically more or less on the same path to become a better person. Our other friends? Not so much. But it's not something that affects our friendship, and they are much better with their behavior in comparison to when we were younger. I met my fiancé shortly after the changes I made. My fiancé really helped me heal from my trauma and has embraced me with all my flaws. I feel so loved and cared for, and she's the one I want to spend the rest of my life with. Not to mention that her family has welcomed me since day one. I've opened up to her about everything, so she knows about my past, and she's well aware of my friend group and how they are. She ended up actually encouraging me to have a bachelor party so I wouldn't miss out on a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I told the boys I didn't want anything to do with strippers or strip clubs or any variation of undressed girls. They agreed. We went to a hotel with a casino and gambled for most of the afternoon. In the evening, we went back to our room and drank some more, and by the time it was 8/9 p.m., I was completely wasted. This is where things took a turn for the worse. My groomsmen were talking to a group of girls when we were gambling in the afternoon who were doing a bachelorette party. They invited them to our room, and they showed up at 9. So when they showed up, things got crazy. We all went to a club, at which point I pretty much blacked out. I remember telling my best man to take me back, and that I didn't feel good about being this drunk at a club, but he just sort of shrugged and laughed it off. Next thing I remember is coming in and out of consciousness while one of the bridesmaids from the other party was unzipping my pants in her hotel room. I tried to push her away, but kept blacking out, and I even mustered enough energy to say out loud, "Please stop, I don't want to." She kept going, and I ended up finishing. When I woke up the next morning, I was back in our hotel room. I thought I had a terrible nightmare, but I slowly started remembering everything. I began to have a panic attack. I woke everyone and tried to find out what happened. My groomsmen were being extremely dismissive and not taking it seriously, but I pressed, until one of them admitted that they thought it would be funny to convince one of the bridesmaids to take me back to her room and give me one more night of fun before I become trapped. I lost it and freaked out. I left without them and have been staying with my cousin until I figure out what to do next. I called my fiancé and told her that I need to postpone the wedding. I need time to think. Now the boys and my fiancé have been blowing up my phone. I've only been responding to my fiancé and reassuring her that it's not her, it's something with me. I sent one text 1 week later to my boys' group chat telling them they are all uninvited. I obviously told my fiancé about this but didn't explain why. She, her family, and all the relatives of my friends have been calling me a complete a-hole and blowing up my phone nonstop about the issue. The only people that know what happened are me, the boys, and my cousin. I don't have any other family, and my best man said he had no idea what they were up to and feels awful for not being there to stop/protect me. I feel so lost. I haven't slept for days. I can't eat. I can't think. I can't breathe. I can't even look my fiancé in the face. I keep making excuses about why I'm staying with my cousin, and the "I'm working through something" response is wearing thin. I feel sick every time I text her because I cheated. Even though I didn't want it, I finished, and I feel like a horrible person. It feels like I regressed, and with my history, I can't trust myself anymore, and how can I expect my fiancé to? Now for the top advice before reading the updates. You didn't cheat. You were forced upon. You were blackout drunk and told this woman no, and she continued anyway. This is not your fault. You need to understand this. You need to start by telling your fiancé about this. She deserves to know the reason why the wedding is postponed, because she is totally going crazy wondering what the heck happened. Uninviting the groomsman is totally fine regarding the circumstances. I hope your fiancé will understand the reasons why, and I think when she realizes how distraught you are, she will get the gravity of the situation. But you need to tell her, soon. This is the comment you need. If you didn't want it and you said no and it wasn't respected, that is a crime. You need emotional and therapeutic support, and you need to tell your fiancé because her not knowing is just a special kind of hell for her. These guys are not your friends. They're bad guys. Don't invite them to a damn thing ever again. How do I even start a conversation about this? I don't even know what I would begin to say to the love of my life. Okay, dude, you got violated. Like legit, that's what you just described. It is not your fault, but it is your responsibility to be honest with your fiancé. Tell her exactly what happened. You got drunk around people you trusted and then learned later they planned to have a lady sleep with you while you were barely conscious, and that you will now be going no contact with them. Because you absolutely should go no contact with them. For like ever. Who knows how she'll take it? But even if you don't think you deserve her, she deserves the truth. If you keep telling her nothing, eventually she'll either get told a lie by one of your friends, or she'll think you got cold feet and or don't love her anymore. I know you're blaming yourself, even though, and I can't stress this enough, it is not your fault. So think of speaking to her as the first step to making things right. Then give her whatever time/space she needs to process. Then go to a therapist, or find a support group, and never be around those friends again. That's honestly just as important as speaking to her. She used her mouth, so I don't know if it counts as that. I'm honestly terrified to say something. I'm scared of the backlash I might get for claiming I was touched against my will. I don't know if people will believe me, and I'm really torn and feel helpless. Any unwanted physical intimate action is that crime. If you know your fiancé and how she deals with your trauma, it should go all right. You don't have to tell others what happened. Just that they did something unforgivable and are no longer invited. That you want to hear nothing about them and want nothing to do with them. Guys don't normally come forward with something that happened to them. Your fiancé, if she's a good person, which I believe she is given what you told us, then she should believe you and help work on assisting you through this. Currently, I'd suggest getting a piece of paper and a pen and just writing all your feelings out. The bad, the worse, what you want to tell her, what you don't, etc. You don't have to give it to her when you are done if you don't want. But it will help. It will take some of that weight off your shoulders. Now for the first update. So many of you have reached out to me and offered support. I appreciate all of you. I've decided to tell my fiancé everything. I've been convinced from the sheer amount of people telling me it would be the right next move. I don't know much, but I do know that when hundreds of people tell you the same thing, they're probably correct. I texted her to meet tomorrow. I'm taking my cousin with me, and I think I'm going to try to explain and have my cousin/this post as a backup. She seemed sort of relieved/anxious that I agreed to meet. I'm aware that this could destroy everything we have, so I really hope it all works out. Thank you all for pushing me to tell her. I'll try to update as soon as I can. Second update. After reading through all the comments and getting a lot of supportive DMs, I decided to tell my fiancé everything. I took my cousin with me and had a speech prepared on paper. We decided to meet at our home, so my cousin and I drove to her. We pulled up to the driveway and my heart was pounding out my chest. I told my cousin I need to turn around and I couldn't do this, but cousin insisted and pushed me through it. As soon as I got out of the car, my fiancé opened the front door and stared at me with an emotionless face. I thought we got off to a horrible start and I was just dreading going inside. We walk in and my fiancé directs us to our living room. At this point, no one has said a word, and you can cut the tension with a butter knife. My cousin and I sit on one couch and my fiancé is sitting on a couch to the right of us, closest to me. I open by telling her that I'm really sorry about how I've been acting, and that she's done nothing wrong. I pull out my paper letter and start shaking a lot. I try reading the first couple of sentences, but eventually start to break down and have panic attacks/cry. My cousin grabbed the letter and continued reading the letter until I was able to grab it back and continue. The letter read like my first post, had a lot more apologies and emotion in it though. When I finished, I looked up and saw her extremely distraught and upset. She just stood up, said she needed a minute to think and went to the bathroom for a good half hour. I didn't know what to think. I was devastated and it was killing me inside. I didn't know what she was thinking or what she was going to do next. When she opened the bathroom door, she just ran up to me and hugged me and started bawling her eyes out. She kept saying that she was sorry about what happened to me and that she wishes she was there to protect me. We spent the rest of the night talking about it. She was very supportive and was just mad that I didn't come to her sooner. She's furious with my ex-best man and immediately texted her family, without all the details, to explain my side. She said something along the lines of, they did unforgivable things. We've decided to postpone the wedding while we both figure out how to work through this. My fiancé has already helped me connect with mental health resources that deal with these ordeals. I've already been to 2 sessions this week. She's been extremely supportive and comforting. We're looking into next steps with the police to report the crime, though I don't have much evidence. I honestly don't care if I get justice at this point. I'm just glad my fiancé believes me. I told her I was scared she would think I was lying because of my past, but she said she knows I've changed and that she fell in love with the person I am today. As for my best man, I've got no contact since. It's only been 6 days since I told my fiancé, so I'm still working through some stuff. In the meantime, I'm happy to have the love of my life in my arms at night. I can rest easy at night. The nightmares have slowed/stopped. I'll try to update when I can in the future. Thanks for the advice. Wow, OP. Your friends essentially conspired together to get you violated. Never give those guys any more of your time. They aren't worth it. I'm glad to hear you're on the mend now, and your fiancé sounds like an absolute treasure. Cherish her always, OP. God bless. He needs to drop the whole lot of them. This is a bit of a gendered problem, unfortunately, in that the men will think they're doing him a favor and won't see the crime. I can't imagine any of the women I know conspiring this way. They would see this as obviously for what it is. I'm so happy for you and your fiancé. I'm glad you are working through this together. I'm sorry this happened to you. I can't imagine what that was like. I'm really happy that you gave an update to this story. I know it's not over yet, and you may have a long road to recovery, but I'm glad to hear that she is everything you needed from her. Really relieved this didn't turn out worse than it needed to be, even though it's so terrible what happened to you. I'm so sorry. I know this sounds manipulative, but under the circumstances, I think it's necessary. You need to text your friends and set them up to admit in print what they told you about telling her to come in. Don't do a big long text confronting them. Act like it's not as big of a deal as it is. Say, I told you I didn't want to do that. I asked to go back to the hotel because I was blacked out. Make them admit you were that drunk. Get them to say they asked her to go in the room. This will be your evidence of the crime so you can file charges. You can file a charge against the girl, and you can file charges against your friends for at the very least reckless endangerment. Get an STD test. Can also be used as evidence. I'm so sorry this happened to you. I actually cried reading both posts. The therapists will be able to provide the courts with documentation about your mental health and how affected you were with this trauma. This will include how your life drastically changed overnight. Have your doctor give you a note to show your employer when you get a medical leave. Yes, take a medical leave regardless of if you feel like you can actually work. This will prove it impacts your ability to lead your normal life. This one might be far, but can you still not eat or drink? Go to the emergency room for dehydration. You'll have even more medical records to prove the follow-up effects. I would say with this type of evidence, you will have a stronger case and chance of winning with a reckless endangerment. Don't admit to anyone ever these steps are intentional except your fiancé. Hire a lawyer to at the very least see what your options are. I'm not a lawyer, but my brother is a victim of domestic violence. His medical records of ER visit for the time he threw something at her, therapy notes, work history, etc. significantly helped his lawsuit and his restraining order against her. I would honestly even consider trying to get a restraining order from your friends as well. Show them in the courts how traumatic it is, that you don't even feel safe being around your ex-friends. Show everyone, including them, how incredibly serious this situation is. Fight, don't back down. After all your hard work, you don't deserve to have this situation anywhere near you. I'm so sorry. I saw someone comment get hotel footage. Yes, maybe try and get some bar footage if you're barely coherent and blacked out. The hotel one could also show that you didn't go in with the girls originally. They could try and say, oh, we all agreed to go back together. No, show them you went in alone with just your friends. Footage can be subpoenaed if the business deny you accessing the footage. Now for the third update. This will be my last update for a while. I just want to thank everyone for the kind words and support in my inbox. Some of you even opened up about similar experiences, and that really helped. I'm not even close to being okay mentally. I constantly have panic attacks and anxiety randomly throughout the day. Sometimes unrelated things can trigger an attack, but I'm trying my best to fight and survive. My fiancé has been my rock, and her family, her dad, mom, and sisters have been angels. They've even hired a private investigator to help with our police report that we're filing. My fiancé's dad is well connected in the legal world, and is connecting me with a lawyer who'll be pretty much taking lead with my case. In the meantime, all I can do is try working through my issues and trying to move on. It's hard, not just for me, which kills me inside. I can see the pain this situation has caused my fiancé. I can see it in her eyes. It's hard not to blame myself. I've written personal letters to the parents of all of my ex-friends, groomsmen, explaining things. I mailed them out yesterday. I'm closing that chapter of my life, as I've also mentioned that in those letters. What they do with that information is their choice. As for our wedding, we have decided to revisit things next year. Maybe sooner depending on everything we're dealing with right now. We know we don't have to rush and can just take our time. I don't know if I'll ever be okay or if the panic attack/anxiety will ever go. I hope the next time I update, I'll feel like I can breathe again. Till next time.